Cindy, sorry to change gears, absolutely fine. This is like our team meeting for the week, so we can jump around as we want to. Sorry to change gears, but I need assistance with the following. I decided to use some material for my honors thesis for my master's literature review. How can I protect myself from plagiarism? Cindy, if you wrote that, if that was your own original writing, you may have referenced or cited some other sources, then absolutely you can bring it into your literature review. That's absolutely no problem at all. Obviously, just needs to be relevant to your study. The issue with the reuse of honors and masters into a PhD is whether or not the results, have already been examined or published in some way. You cannot then reuse those results and findings as original results and findings in a subsequent study. Okay. What often happens is someone will do a master's and realize that they want to continue on with that research. Then they need to bind that master's into a full-blown PhD, and often universities will give you approval to do that if you've done a master's level amount of work in the research. And that's where the challenge comes from. As for plagiarism, you cannot plagiarize yourself. So a quick true story. When I submitted my final report to a system called Turnitin, which WITS uses to check for plagiarism, and plagiarism, they'll allow you about a 5, 6, 7% of plagiarism, because often you inadvertently plagiarize other work simply because you're combining words in unique ways that have been used like that elsewhere. And true story, mine came back with some plagiarism, and I looked in the report. And when I went down to go and look at, who apparently I was plagiarizing, it said I was plagiarizing a website called peteralkema.com. And what it turned out was that the AI in the plagiarism system had picked up a similar style of writing. It was on different topics, of course. I hadn't copied in those exact words, but my sentence construction and style and approach was just so similar because it was my own writing. So Cindy, in your honors thesis writing, bringing that into your master's literature review is absolutely not going to be a problem. I would just suggest, and I would challenge you, that as you move up the ladder in terms of your academic journey, you should be getting better and better at writing. You should be becoming a more and more advanced and capable student. And often when I look back at older writings of mine, I see that amateurish sort of or early stage, skills coming through. So I would just, look at how you can improve and upgrade your writing. But what I think you're getting at here is that you've got some reusable raw material, and then from that you can just slightly improve that and take some of the principles and tips and tricks that I'm giving you today and that I'll teach you shortly, where in a sentence you just swap things around in a sentence and it flows better, it's more coherent, it's more meaningful, and you are more respectful and understanding of your reader trying to interpret your work. But that raw material is there, as you say, in your honors thesis. And of course, going to a master's level, you're going to be expected to do a bigger literature review. It can't only be what you had in your honors thesis, but you can most certainly, chop and change and reuse as you do. And Cindy, an example that I constantly use is that in your proposal literature review, a lot of that you can reuse in your final report, for example. Okay, hopefully all that is useful.